37%. Just let that sink in for a moment. According to researchers at MIT, that's how much ChatGPT increased worker productivity. That's a huge leap. Hello to all viewers of my channel. Today, we're going to cut through all the noise and get straight to what matters. This is your practical guide to the real AI tools that are actually changing the game for how we work, learn, and, well, live our lives. So think about that 37% number again. What if that wasn't just some statistic in a study? What if that was your productivity? Imagine getting hours back in your day, every day, to focus on the stuff that you actually enjoy doing. Well, guess what? That's exactly what we're diving into.
All right, here's the game plan. First, we'll get to know our new AI partner and figure out the basics. Then, we'll see it in action, first in the classroom, then in the workplace. After that, we'll look at how it can become your own personal assistant for creativity and self-improvement. And we'll wrap up with something absolutely crucial: how to use all this power responsibly.
Okay, first things first. Before we jump into all the cool things AI can do, we need to make sure we're all on the same page about what we're even talking about. The star of the show here is something called generative AI. To put it simply, this is the kind of AI that doesn't just crunch numbers, it creates new stuff. Think of it less like a calculator and more like a creative partner. It can write an email for you, dream up an image, or even help compose a song, all based on what you ask it to do. All those big names you've been hearing, ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, yup, they're all part of this family. All right, let's jump into our first real-world example, the world of education. Look, AI is not about replacing teachers, not at all. It's about giving them and students a super-powered assistant. So instead of just a boring list of tools, let's talk about the problems they actually solve. For a student, you know that feeling of being stuck on a math problem at midnight? Well, an AI tutor like MathGPT Pro can be a lifesaver. And for teachers, imagine getting hours of your life back because a tool like Gradescope helps with grading, or Fetchy helps you whip up amazing lesson plans. These things are tackling real frustrations and freeing everyone up to focus on what really matters: learning. Now let's carry that idea over to the professional world. This is where that 37% productivity boost we kicked things off with really comes to life. Let's put that percentage into real-world terms. That same MIT study, it found that AI could save the average worker about 2.5 hours every single day. Seriously, just take a second and think about that. What would you do with an extra 2.5 hours? Get ahead on a project, learn a new skill, or maybe just leave work on time? Of course, to save that time, you gotta use the right tool for the job. And the big three here are not created equal. Think of ChatGPT as your awesome do-anything Swiss Army knife. Gemini is the creative genius that's always up to date thanks to Google. And Claude 3, that's your deep thinker for complex problems. And check out the context window. That's how much info the AI can remember at once. Gemini's 1 million tokens is like handing it a 3,000-page report and asking it to summarize the key points. It's an absolute game changer. And it's not just about the big chatbots. There are specialized tools that are absolute ninjas at killing tedious tasks. You hate taking meeting notes? Me too. Well, Otter.ai can join your call and spit out a perfect transcript and summary. Notion AI can turn your messy project docs into a smart, searchable database. And Microsoft Copilot is now built right into Word and Excel, ready to help you write a report or make sense of a spreadsheet in seconds. So we've tackled school, we've tackled work, but what about the rest of our lives? It turns out AI is also becoming an amazing partner for personal stuff, from our own well-being to our creative hobbies. Mental wellness is one area where this is really taking off. You've got tools like WooBot, which uses proven therapy techniques to help you manage stress right from your phone. Then there's something like Replica, which is designed to just be an empathetic AI friend you can chat with about anything. Now, these aren't a replacement for a professional, of course, but for many people, they're a really accessible first step. And the tools for just improving yourself are so cool and diverse. Want to absorb the key ideas from a book on your commute? There's an AI for that. Want to chat with a virtual Albert Einstein to get inspired? Or turn a crazy idea in your head into a stunning piece of art? Yep, there are AIs for that too. The potential for growing and creating is just exploding. Okay, so we've seen just how incredibly powerful these tools can be. And that brings us to our last and honestly probably our most important section. With all this power comes a pretty big need for responsibility. This checklist is a fantastic starting point, and it's not just for students. Step 1,
Always get permission. Know the rules of whatever you're doing. Step 2, make sure it's still your work. Use AI as a co-pilot, not a ghostwriter. 3, and this one is so important, verify everything. AIs can and do make stuff up. Always check its facts. And finally, just be transparent about how you use the tool. As you start using these tools, just keep a few things in the back of your mind. They can hallucinate, which is a fancy word for confidently making things up. So always double-check anything important. Also, since they learn from the internet, they can pick up the biases that are out there. And finally, just be smart about your data. A good rule of thumb is don't put anything into a chatbot that you wouldn't post on a public website. So, after all that, it really comes down to this one question. We've seen that AI can be a tutor, a researcher, a creative partner, a productivity machine. This isn't just another app on your phone, it's a whole new kind of partner. So the real question isn't if you'll use AI, but how will you choose to partner with it? Subscribe to the channel and like, and also suggest your topics for future videos in the comments.